Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Kocher. Affordable housing in New Hampshire is at crisis levels. Those are words used by our governor. And it's getting worse year by year, especially if you want to rent. Look at the two-bedroom vacancy rate statewide, 0.6%. That's vacancy rate. And then the two-bedroom median gross rent statewide, $1,498, going up. The key questions are, why are there fewer and fewer rental units each year, and why are the rents increasing beyond the ability of more and more to pay? With me to talk about this is the Executive Director of New Hampshire Housing, Dean Christon. Welcome, Dean.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for having me.
I don't know of anybody in New Hampshire that knows more about the housing situation in New Hampshire than you do. Let's take the vacancy rate first, with a very telling graph. The statewide vacancy rate for two-bedroom and all rental units between 2011 and 2021. And you can see, if you look at the graph, the line goes down. Dean, can you explain this?
Sure. Well, we've had an extraordinarily strong economy coming out of the Great Recession, and it's created a lot of demand for housing. Unfortunately, we just haven't been building enough housing to meet that demand. And so you can see a steady decline in the availability of excess capacity, if you will, in the rental housing market. And just for context sake, the sort of balanced market is generally viewed as being one in which there's about a 5% vacancy rate. The national numbers around vacancy today are around 7%, as are the regional numbers in New England. Yet we're showing a vacancy rate, as you point out, of somewhere around 1% or less. And the reality is that anytime you get under 2%, there really is no real vacancy. It's really just turnover. It's important to note that that's not necessarily the case in every single market and for every property, but generally this is a very, very tight rental market.
Boy, is it. I have a couple of family members that are finding that out themselves. An increasing number of New Hampshire rental households are paying more than 40% or more for their income on the rent. And as we look at this graph, which shows the rent information by county in New Hampshire and the income necessary to afford it, Dean, Coos County is the low and Rockingham County is the high, and everybody else in between, but there's not enough income.
Well, what happens clearly is that when you have an imbalance between supply and demand, there's an opportunity for prices to go up, and that just happens. I mean, part of that's increasing cost of operating rental housing, but part of it is the supply and demand equation. And so rents have continued to increase, and frankly, renter incomes have not. And that's part of the reason why more and more people are paying a larger portion of their income for rental housing.
What should New Hampshire be doing that it's not?
Well, we need to build more housing. And, you know, one of the things I think that you've mentioned early on, the governor's focus on this issue, he's been arguing for more flexibility at the local level in terms of zoning policy and other factors, and also for providing more resources to local governments in terms of tools and flexibility to allow us to create more housing that will be more affordable. We generally need to build more housing across the entire market, quite frankly, not just affordable rental housing, but just housing in general, including single-family homes, in order to make sure that we have an adequate supply to support the economy.
Well, and this ties into what you just said. The New Hampshire legislature and the governor, as you know, approved a bill this year that gives municipalities the ability to expand a special tax break for developers who build affordable housing. So that's a step in the right direction.
It is, and the legislature and the governor also approved a significant increase in funding for the state's Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which we administer, that allows us to invest in creating new affordable housing. But in the end, most of the housing that's going to get built in the state is not going to be what people define as quote unquote affordable housing or targeted. It's going to be just market rate. And we need to basically allow the market to do what it normally does and react to demand. Unfortunately, we have overregulated the development of housing in many of our communities, not all, and that helps create this shortage.
Dean Christon, Executive Director of New Hampshire Housing, thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Always a pleasure.